what time it is. Predictions! Predictions are now open. Place your bets. Oh, hold on. Place your bets on who you think will take the series. Best of luck in the chat. As spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Oceanborn, we have the South Korean Terran player, the Red Terran representing Team Hyper 1. It is HonMonO. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent, we have the American Protoss player, the Blue Protoss representing Virtus Pro. It is Astrea. Vikings might be a good idea. No. HonMonO, he was intentionally making it hard for himself, so I wouldn't read too much into that last game. Was intentional. But again, he's going to have to take things a lot more seriously here up against Astrea. Astrea, of course, the #1 player from the Americas. We're going to make a deep run in the tournament. And I'm curious how they compare to each other. Now, we were able to just now see 2 games from HonMonO, but those 2 games that we watched are very unlike HonMonO. A big part of that was just because HonMonO, I think he was just warming up and having fun against his previous opponent. Here against Astrea, I expect 2 base all-ins. I expect aggression. I expect hyper-aggression out of HonMonO. We'll see. Likewise, Astrea is not the most orthodox of players either. So we'll try to keep an eye on our players and figure out where they're headed. Here we go. As for the time being, HonMonO is going to be walling up. He's going to be walling off here in his main. Now, with this depot block, this will keep Astrea in the dark. This does mean that if HonMonO were to go for a 1 base all-in, it is that much more difficult for Astrea to scout, specifically the CC. And we can see that the CC is thrown down on the low ground, but Astrea is in the dark. He lost his scouting probe. And HonMonO does have a reputation, as it was a Rax expand. So economic opener out of HonMonO. Astrea is unaware. Back at home, opening up. Gate Cyber into Nexus. And is going for the initial Adept. Second Adept behind this. Twilight Council opener, thankfully. And the Adepts are moving out to harass. To harass and to scout, more importantly. And getting eyes on the expansion timing is going to be a big tell for Astrea. That's the least that he's hoping for. Does confirm the CC. Trading against the Marines. Ooh, almost gets 1. Marines are getting low. HonMonO behind this, getting to his own 1-1-1. Interesting. And HonMonO, he will catch the initial Adept. Marines are still getting low. Up! So far, trading 2 for 1. The Adept is low. HonMonO, he wants it! He wants the Adept! Attempts to chase it down. Back at home, Blink is on the way. And the question becomes, how many gateways? Now, I would not be opposed to a 3-gate Blink opener from Astrea. I would love a 4-gate Blink opener. We'll see how many. 3 gates is usually a safe way to play. 4 gates is a more aggressive, more assertive kind of opener. And counting the gateways, we have 2 gateways at the natural and 1 gateway in the main. So 3-gate Blink from Astrea. Very safe build, very safe play. And again, against HonMonO, I do think this makes a lot of sense. HonMonO throwing down 2 more Raxes, getting up to a 3-1-1. With a Cyclone drop. Jumping towards the main. Meanwhile, Astrea, yeah, just 3-gate Blink into a 3rd, so just very safe opener here. This does mean that Astrea has additional Stalkers to work with because of the extra gateway. The drop will slip in. Astrea has the tools to defend, but Astrea is out of position. He's ready here outside of his natural. He's not ready in the main. Astrea is moving out. Back across the map, HonMonO getting to his own tank production. And once he spots these Stalkers, HonMonO, he can pull the trigger with the drop. Stalker's moving out. They dive into the main, going for the tank. But so far, HonMonO, he does have the tank in position. Does have support. Drop cut does come in. Astrea thankfully does have a warp in. Does warp in defensively, loses 2 probes. But at least HonMonO, he forces the defensive warp in. Zelda's here to tank the tank shot. Bold move. Astrea, he's going for the dive. Gets a first tank. Yeah, 1 tank goes down. So far, worth it for Astrea. Whew. Takes down the Marines, gets 4 SCVs. Oh, but has to be careful to overextend. Playing with fire. Thankfully, Stim is not done. Astrea will make it out. Again, that was 1 Stalker and 1 Zealot for a tank and 4 SCVs. That was worth it for Astrea. Make for another big warp in, getting his third base up and running. And there is no bunker here on the low ground. Getting a Marauder up. Oh my god. Almost getting 2. Up in the end, HonMonO, he does punish this. Forcing back the army. Getting a Stalker. And HonMonO will soon break out. The medevac! Oh my god. Does boost away in time. Astrea threatening a dive into the main. Big tank while he's going up. Stim is now done, +1, almost finishing up for HonMonO as well. He will soon be able to break free. I mean, I say that Astrea is still threatening a counterattack, threatening a drop. HonMonO trying to catch at the army, gets a couple of Stalkers. Now arriving with Liberators. And oh, the Prism goes down. Oh no! The Prism! Ah, it's so close. 1 more shot. Doesn't quite get it. But will intercept the Stalkers though. Stalkers take a lot of hits, and here comes the all-in. HonMonO, he's pulling the boys. It's going to be a 2-base all-in from the Terran player. Again, this is the HonMonO that we know and love. He pulls the boys, it's all or nothing. And back at home, what is it to defend? There is a shield battery at the 3rd. There's going to be an overcharge as well. 2 more shield batteries on the way. The longer this goes on, the better it is for Astrea. Astrea just has to buy time. And he has force fields. The force field does have to buy time. Colossus has arrived. HonMonO just trying to rally everything together. Bringing forward the Liberators, bringing forward the tanks. But again, he's taking quite some time. He's being meticulous with his siege. Takes down the pylon, denies the 4th base. Astrea is catching reinforcements. HonMonO slow sieging towards the 3rd. First lip goes down. Not a bad pickoff for Astrea. Gets a Liberator. Expansion will fall. Shield battery is denied. Astrea cannot push into this. Comes in from behind. Gets the first tank. There's still 3 tanks left. Soon to be 2. But Astrea pushing into the Liberation Zone. It's not going to work out. The concave is too good. And HonMonO is snowballing out of control. He's so close to breaking this. The Colossus is so low. He's so close. The Colossus, they're so low, the warp in barely does finish. HonMonO does cost him 15 SCVs, but he has to keep going. He has to keep pushing. Oh, Liberator goes down. 2 more have arrived. And with the help of these libs, yeah, Astrea is being pinned further and further back. A massive tank volley is going off, and Astrea looks like he has broken through. Takes down another Colossus. GG gets called, and HonMonO takes game number 1. Whew. GG. Oh my god. GG, well played. Again, as I mentioned before, we've seen HonMonO take down players like MaxPax, and if you can take down MaxPax, who can you not take down? As he does take the lead against Astrea. But that was merely only game 1. We'll see if he can bring it home here in game 2. Oh my god. Whew. GG. Getting our lobby ready. Why does Random Hyper 1 hate HonMonO when he pays for it? It's a love-hate relationship. It's fine. It's fine. It is true. Hyper 1, he hates it. Cap. Catch him. Is Crank streaming this? Wonder if there's a Korean language stream capturing this. I don't believe there is. I don't believe so. From my understanding, there's no. I mean, I don't think there was ever, or there was a very rarely Korean coverage of ESL Americas. Yeah. When it comes to foreign language casters of ESL Americas, there'd be Mapu, there'd be Enki, Mapu, Enki, Roklets. So Enki casting in Spanish, Roklets casting in Portuguese or in Brazilian. But yeah, we never really had any Korean casters. It's just not something that they were typically interested in. So if they weren't ever covering ESL Americas, I don't see them covering this event too much. Still decent time in Korea? Yeah, but didn't make them cast ESL Americas. Time to start the Korean cast stream. True. You can do it, Hyper One. You can be like 사랑해 HonMonO. Oh god. Where's Maddox? Maddox hasn't casted in a couple of years. Maddox, he is mainly a translator now. He hasn't casted in a very, very long time. But here we go. We're getting into our next game. We're getting into game 2, and spawning in the top right-hand corner of Alkyone, we have our South Korean Terran player, the Red Terran, representing Team Hyper 1. It is HonMonO. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have his American opponent, the Blue Protoss player, representing Virtus Pro. It is Astrea. Here we go. As HonMonO is moving out with that initial SCV, being a little bit cheeky, is rallied for what looks to be an eBay block at the natural. So cheeky move with the initial worker. Probe Scout comes in. Is going to be a single gas opener for HonMonO. But the CC should be delayed in favor of the engineering bay. There it is, the eBay is being thrown down. So the purpose of this opener for HonMonO is to delay the expansion and to force just an inefficient start here for Astrea. And maybe even force the unnatural natural. What I'm referring to, if the progression on this eBay is too much, and it's almost done at this point, then Astrea will be forced to expand at the third base location instead. Either the linear third or the triangular third. Speaking of, yep, there we go. Is forced to expand elsewhere, and now suddenly Astrea is in a precarious position because his natural and his main are a little more exposed. They're a little more isolated from each other, and it is easier to assault and pull off something aggressive early on. Now, if you recall at the start of the year during the Cyclone meta in the previous patch, this would be an insta-loss, especially because of how powerful the previous Cyclone was. Players like Clem, Cure, I mean all the Terran players, they'll just rush Mass Cyclone and they just kill you. Of course, Cyclone was nerfed, builds did die out, so because of that, it is a little bit easier nowadays to kind of defend this location, or I should say the aggression that the Terran has isn't as severe. Behind this, racks into factory, into CC on the high ground. Of course, the eBay was cancelled. HonMonO got what he wanted. Yeah, HonMonO 사랑해요. Oh god. Shaking my head. Aye. As Cyclones are going to be amassing. Astrea, I do appreciate he's setting up a proxy gateway. So he can warp in across the map, he can harass. Ooh, as the first adept gets caught out, that's actually a big pickoff. The first adept falls, which means, what do we have to defend? We have one Stalker! Oh. We're down to, okay, 2 Stalkers. Shield batteries on the way, overcharge as well. HonMonO rallying across. Now, the Cyclones, they can of course contest against the gateway units, but the goal here for HonMonO should be the Hellions. These Hellions, they can annihilate a mineral line real quick if they get in. And as I mentioned before, Astrea has to defend both the natural and the main base is looking exposed. The goal here is the Cyclones to distract and the Hellions to slip into the main. Now it takes 3 Hellions to one-shot a probe, so these 2 Hellions are going to have to two-shot. They're going to have to get their second volley off, but here comes a 3rd and 4th Hellion. Now there is a spotter pylon. Cyclones, they're a little bit premature. Yeah, HonMonO, he loses the first Cyclone, did go in too soon, and that means that Astrea can focus on the Hellions. Yeah, he does recall back into the main. Cyclones, they have to turn back around, and Astrea should shut this down. Nice spread. 3, 4 workers do fall. 5 worker kills. It's okay. Like 5 workers for 4 Hellions. So basically a 1-to-1 trade. HonMonO was hoping for more. And again, he was premature, Pat. Happens to the best of us. No. Meanwhile, a shout out to Ursa TV. Papi God, thank you so much for the gifted subs. We do appreciate the support. Thank you so much for the 5 community subs. We do appreciate it. Thank you so much. And a shout out to Ursa TV for being one of the main sponsors for the tournament. Ursa TV and Stegosaurus as well. Together, what are they? They're a hairy dinosaur. They are the Ursasaurus Cup. Meanwhile, Astrea coming in to punish. Does dive into the natural. SCVs are being pulled. And so many workers are falling. Cyclone can be targeted, tank as well, and HonMonO just doesn't really have much to work with. Again, he committed so much to the Hellion Cyclone harass, and it wasn't worth it in the end. SCVs are falling, 12 SCV kills, denied any kind of mining here at the natural base. With reinforcements, HonMonO, he can hold, he can survive. But Astrea, he's done the damage. He can back off from here, he doesn't have to commit. Doesn't have to, but he will. Takes down another Marine. Volley going up. We are bleeding out a couple of Stalkers here, but it looks like with good enough micro, GG gets called and Astrea ties up the series 1-1. We are going to the ace match. Whew. GG. GG, well played. We are setting up for game 3. Again, HonMonO, he had potential with the opener, he had potential with the start, but alas, did all crumble before him there. Wasn't quite able to get the damage he was hoping for with the Hellion harass, with the Cyclone distraction. Again, had more of a 1-to-1 trade, and that did leave him vulnerable to a counterattack. So very nice punish there from Astrea. And now we're headed for the ace match. Let's go. Let us go. Go. Oh my god. And speaking of some amazing players, a shout out to Miguelito, papi. Oh my god, Vindicto, thank you so much for the raid. Hope you had a great stream. Also, Miguelito, unless I'm blind, were you in today's bracket? Were you? Wait, I don't think you were, Pat. What's going on? Este Miguelito. Ay, ay, ay. Why did I not see you in today's bracket, huh? I wanted to cast, Papi. I wanted to cast. Shaking my head, shaking my head. But here we go. We're getting into the ace match and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Golden Aura. We have... Just keep your eye on the chat. We have the South Korean Terran player, the Red Terran representing Team Hyper 1. It is HonMonO. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the American Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, representing Virtus Pro. It is Astrea. Oh my god, speaking of raids, a shout out to Express Karma in the chat as well. Thank you so much to Vindicta and Express Karma. Thank you so much. Hope you both enjoyed your streams. Hope you both enjoyed your ladder sessions, I'm assuming. Thank you so much. And a big shout out to Miguelito. I'm hoping to see some Vindicta in next week's tournament. I'm hoping. Whether it's Ursasaurus Cup, whether it's the Tenacious Turtle Tussle, whether it's both, I'm hoping as well. Este Vindicta. Until then, Double Gas. Double Gas open out of HonMonO. Racks into a faster factory. Does lock the probe into the main. HonMonO will be able to lock it down. Again, it has been an intense back and forth. And the question becomes, what kind of all-in is HonMonO going for this time? And we all know it's going to be an all-in. But what kind? Here we go. As the spray is thrown down. The probe! Oh my god, probe does get an SEV kill. Okay, not bad. 1-to-1 trade. Again, the probe, there was no way out of this. It was locked into the main, so it was going to die anyway. And Astrea does get an SEV. Does get an SEV for his troubles. Very nice pickup. Astrea rallying towards the left-hand side. Going for a follow-up probe scout. And that factory is on the way. HonMonO will be expanding. We'll be setting up. CC has been thrown down, and Astrea at least confirms that there is no crazy one-base all-in. And it gets eyes on the lack of add-ons. Back at home, it is going to be a Twilight Council. Astrea, I imagine, going into Blink, and may once again opt to go for a 3-gate Blink into a third. So we'll see how many gateways he does throw down. Back at home, it's going to be a 1-1-1 setup here by HonMonO. This could be a very similar build to game number 1, if you recall. Setting up for another 2-base all-in. But it is still a little bit too early to tell. Reaps are moving out. Tech Lab on the factory. Second rack's on the way. When HonMonO does try to dive in, alas, bleeds out a Reaper in the process, and that wasn't quite worth it in the end. HonMonO does spot the extra gateways and can piece together it was Blink. And how many gates? There's 1 in the main and 2 at the natural, 3-gate Blink. Again, the same opener that Astrea went for in game 1. Assuming he doesn't throw down a 4th gateway. So just 3-gate Blink into a third. With that, Astrea should be safe early on. Again, what about the follow-up? Oh, interesting. HonMonO going for a Banshee opener. Okay, so it's going Tank Banshee. Again, this has been quite popular as of late in TVP. Has been quite trendy. Is going to be slowly building up. Now you can approach this in one of 2 ways. You can either harass with the Cloak Banshees and try and distract the Protoss while you move out with your main army, or you can kind of move everything out together and have the Banshee as more of a supportive unit. Cloak is not being researched. That I find interesting. Scan barely does not catch the Observer. Astrea does pull away in time. Astrea being very careful. Poking in. Back at home again, 3-gate Blink into third, into a bay. Colossus production charge on the horizon as well. Reapers are shut down. Sorry, Marines. HonMonO is going for a follow-up scout. He's still not fully aware of what's going on. Banshees do slip away. And I imagine that we're going to be pulling the boys with this. One Stalker goes down. Reapers are getting eyes on the third. And there we go, the boys are being pulled! It's all or nothing for HonMonO. As I mentioned before, I was curious if the Banshees are going to be harassing. They are not. They are going to be supporting the main army. Adding a lot of DPS. And the shield battery is not quite ready for this. Oh. Astrea, he has saturated his third base. He has been maybe a little bit too greedy. Just going to be the one shield battery, but there is a force field. There are sentries. There's a sentry. Banshee taking a lot of damage. Boys are here to repair. Tanks are slowly getting ground. The overcharges popped and Astrea getting ready for a surround. It does fan out those zealots. Just 3 of them though. Zealots are trying to catch reinforcements. They are going to be spotted. Tank volleys going off. Oh my god, tank's taking a lot of hits. But it looks like the third base is going to be going down. Yeah, the backup shield battery is a little bit too late. The base is going to fall. Astrea is forcing back the reinforcements though. These 3 zealots, they've actually gained a lot of value. And HonMonO, he has to keep going. Now what's scary is that Astrea hasn't lost much of his main army. He's saved his immortals, saved his stalkers. And HonMonO, he's still on a timer. He's still gotta go. Setting up SimCity behind this. Catches the observer. Oh, the disruptor has arrived. Never goes off. Doesn't quite connect. But Zealots, they come in for the surround. One tank goes down. Second tank is low. And it looks like Astrea, he has enough. He cleans up the army. Shuts down the tanks and everything else. Yeah, HonMonO, he was caught on siege. He was caught surrounded. His bunkers did not quite finish. Or his E-base even. And Astrea doesn't just hold, he can counterattack. Behind this, he's got a backup expansion. Again, Astrea playing so carefully, preserving his units. If you remember in game 1, Astrea, he fought to save his third. Here, he gave up the third. He just gave up on it. Didn't try to save it, didn't fight too hard for it. Preserved his army. And did come out better for it in the end. Just more patient play out of Astrea this time. Now his third is up and running, and he's up a base. He's up an expansion, up an economy. And HonMonO is pinned back at home. Bearing in mind, he pulled the boys to make that happen. It was a 2-base all-in. And transitioning out of this is going to be very difficult for HonMonO. Taking a third is going to be insane. We'll see if he can. And there's no rush for Astrea. There is no rush. He spots the Banshees. Stalkers move out. But all Astrea has to do is just saturate his third, take a fourth, tech up into a second robo, get into Colossus, chill. Like there's no rush to push in. Like what HonMonO wants is for Astrea to overextend and just try to break this natural base and push into 3 siege tanks and like a concave of marines. That's like best case scenario for HonMonO, is to force a bad fight out of his opponent. Astrea sharking around. Without any bunkers, Astrea could actually break this. So HonMonO is going to be careful. Third CC is on the way. Astrea checking for a third base. Checking for an expansion. There's that fourth on the way. And again, Astrea, he checks a third, and then he backs off. Like, again, there's no reason to push in. Just need some patience back. Once again, the Banshees were spotted. Astrea is rotating. Back at home, working on +1, working on Extendable Lance. +2 has begun. Banshees are revealed. Oh, and we do catch the medevac! Oh my god. Full medevac goes down. Stalker's in position with the Banshees. They were in position. Astrea pulls away at just the wrong moment. And HonMonO will slip out. There's Stalkers in the main. It's fine. And again, all Astrea has to do is wait for HonMonO to expand. Wait for HonMonO to expose himself. And then Astrea can punish. Moving out. Benches get caught. 2 benches go down. And as HonMonO expands, like, this is Astrea's moment. GG. We don't even get the fight. GG gets called. Astrea's in position, and Astrea will take the series 2-1, advancing on to the next round. GG. GG, well played. I feel like we got the best out of HonMonO, and we got to see Astrea excel as well. Where HonMonO, if you're a little bit too greedy, if you're a little bit too cavalier, if you don't take his all-in seriously, then HonMonO will punish you, as we saw in Game 1. And we saw the growth of Astrea here in Game 3, where he was able to recognize that, able to identify that, did respect the all-in. Again, Astrea, who was more than willing to just give up on the third, just gave in Game 3, just gave up on the third base, you know, let HonMonO get the damage he was looking for, just back off, reinforce, catch reinforcements with his Zealot counterattack, and then come in for the surround. Again, a lot more patient and more conservative play there out of Astrea. Was able to shut HonMonO down. GG. GG, well played. And with that, Astrea will advance on into the next round, and the question becomes, who is facing off against him?